My name is Darcy Resch. This is my Banksy final exam presentation. I chose to do Banksy's portrait of Basquiat being welcomed by the Metropolitan Police, which was done in 2017. In the portrait of Basquiat being welcomed by the Metropolitan Police, Banksy is showing racial prejudice and the dangers of it by using an illusion of using a past canvas of fellow street artist Jean-Michel Basquiat, by using two different art styles, and by utilizing color. Firstly, Banksy is using a past canvas of late street artist Jean-Michel Basquiat to bring up people who have lived in the past and to remember their importance. Especially in the graffiti world, Jean-Michel Basquiat was very important and influential. He was also an artist that challenged not only art norms but social norms, very similarly to Banksy. Banksy is using the art background of Basquiat to his advantage to get his work shown and to get his work recognized once again. Jean-Michel Basquiat died when he was 27 years old in New York City, where he was one of the first very prominent street artists and one of the most prominent African-American artists. Basquiat tragically died in 1988 of a drug overdose. Banksy created this piece of art right outside a museum that was showing a collection of Basquiat's work. Banksy wanted people to remember that he was one of them, that Basquiat was just like him, a low-class, illegal street artist when Basquiat began his work, and that Basquiat was not started out to be a prestigious, well-educated artist. He was considered a criminal for his work and was not seen as a good or successful artist until much later in his life. These are some of Basquiat's paintings that are very famous, and he uses his art as an example of how abstract culture can be. These are some examples of Basquiat's street art and graffiti. He first started out street art as a duo with him and one of his friends called Samo, S-A-M-O, pronounced Samo. His three pieces of art say, "The angry child feeling all alone, secretly forging a heart cold as stone, contemplates vengeance, stared at his phone, leaves us to clean up the flesh, blood, and bone." All three of these pictures are very similar in style and calling out things that are wrong in culture or in the government and in people's lives, and calling out things that are wrong. Moving on, Banksy uses the two different art styles to his advantage to show racial prejudice in the world, to show how two different types of people, two different races, see each other differently. The two different art types show how important culture and personal identity is. It also shows how people react when they see something different. People have their guards up like they see in this piece by the police officers. We also see that when people see something different, they are often shunned for it or get in trouble for thinking differently, as we see in the cop on the right writing a ticket or taking notes of what he sees, treating Basquiat like a thing, like a test subject and not a human, which can be also harmful not only to Basquiat but all the people involved, including those police officers. Lastly, color is very important in this work of art. The two police officers are both colorless or in black and white, while the man, Basquiat, and his dog are in several overlapping colors. In the Basquiat character, we see black as a base color with overlapping details in red, orange, and yellow. The color may represent the culture in Basquiat compared to the lack of culture, the lack of soul, emotion, or empathy in the police officers. But if we look beyond color, we see that Basquiat and the police officer on the left have very similar arm shapes in that their color may be different, but their bodies are one and the same. They're both humans. They're both people, and they both move the same, and I believe Banksy made this art decision deliberately for that purpose. If the police officer had not focused on color and had solely focused on the person and the human, they wouldn't have been there examining and checking Basquiat. Once again, Banksy shows that most people in the world are prejudiced and judge people and things that are unfamiliar to them based on race, gender, or culture. Though, through his use of another artist's work, another art style, and his use of color in Portrait of Basquiat being welcomed by the Metropolitan Police, Banksy has shown how being prejudiced can be very dangerous. I also added some more info on Jean-Michel Basquiat, and there was also a movie documentary made about his life called Basquiat. Thank you.